say uhuru. Uhuru. We say it because we think that freedom is something that should be on our minds 24 hours a day. I want to just say that I got off an airplane from St. Petersburg, Florida to come here. And I had to come here from Florida because what happens in Ferguson is not unusual. And what people are trying to do is to treat Ferguson as this extraordinary thing that's happening in this country. Where the reality is, in New York, where this brother just came from, in 1 year, the police department stopped 850,000 men, most of whom were black. Stopped and searched them. In Philadelphia, 250,000 black men were stopped and searched. In New York, they had 80% of those people were black, and we had a situation where only 8% of the people who they stopped were charged with anything. And the things they were charged with was not the reason they were stopped in the first place. So Ferguson is not unusual. 1. 2, what we saw in Ferguson in terms of the military forces out here, that's not unusual. They like to talk about they have surplus weapons here that's coming from the Pentagon. You can't have surplus weapons year after year after year. A surplus is that above and beyond the inventory that you should have. So if the military is purchasing all of this hardware and giving it to police organizations around the country, you can't call it surplus. Yeah. What is happening is the United States government is giving arms through the military, through your taxpayer money, the same guns and weapons that they're using against oppressed people in Afghanistan, the same weapons that they're using against oppressed people in Iraq, the same weapons that they are threatening to use against the government in Iran, they're using them right here in Ferguson. They're using them throughout this country. I think it's really important for us to understand what these brothers are talking about in the system, that we have a problem. The problem isn't even whether people like each other or not. I mean, everybody ought to like each other, and I think given an opportunity, everybody will like each other. But we've got a system that's based on injustice. I mean, think about this. The whole system that we are talking about is one that was given birth through what? Slavery. It was given birth as a consequence of stealing land from people that nobody even talks about unless they're in the audience. We got concentration camps in this country that they call Indian reservations. Nobody even talks about them. It is a system that is born of oppression and genocide, and it does what it has to do in order to survive because it needs to continue to suck the blood of the people in order to continue to live. We live in a world where 80% of the human beings on earth are trying to survive of $10 US or less a day, where 50% of the human beings on this earth are trying to survive of $2.50 or less a day, and if you're in Africa, you're lucky if you're getting $1 a day. This is the system that those drones that are killing people in Pakistan and in Afghanistan are trying to protect. This is the system that Darren Wilson was trying to protect when he gunned down that brother right here in this community. So we have to understand we're looking at a systemic problem. Ain't nothing wrong with the people. Something is wrong with the damn system. The people are all right, but the system has to go. It can only produce what it does produce. So I want to say, Ferguson, you have been so heroic that people all around the world are celebrating your courage and the stance that you have been able to take. People in the Russian parliament are saying that we need to send peacekeepers into America because of what is happening in Ferguson. The people from the Popular Front of the Liberation of Palestine, they're sending out salutes to black people in this country because of the stance of people here in Ferguson. The Iranian government, everybody around the world is looking at Ferguson and because of the stance you took. So we say that the people will prevail. The people will prevail. A socialist system based on genocide and slavery cannot stand. It should not stand. It can only produce Mike Browns all over the country. Every 26 years, every 26 hours in this country, a black man is shot down by a police or police-related entity. In this country, the FBI just released information that says, according to their reports, and they only got reports from something like 5% of the police organization in this country, a white cop shoots a black person twice a week in this country. And that's from the FBI. We didn't make that up. The FBI said it. Of course, we know the FBI makes up a lot of stuff. But they didn't make this up, right? So I'm just saying that we have to build a resistance. Organization is fundamental, but we have to go beyond just organizing around specific incidents that the system creates. We have to learn how to organize against the system so that we can have a strategic view of what it means to be free, something that most people, and certainly most Africans in this country, have no memory of. So I want to just say one more time. I know you're going to unite with me. Can we say uhuru? Uhuru. Uhuru means freedom, right? So we say uhuru. Oh, we got, listen, I know Pastor here, what are you, Pastor? Baptist? AME, African Methodist. Now, and we sound like we got a lot of Catholics out here. Can we say uhuru? Uhuru! 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 Thank you very much. All right.
We have to get out of here, but there is still a person I met the other day in the office.